Uh, so welcome, Srinivason.
Oh,
Hi, sir. How are you?
how are you? How are you, sir? Doing good.
Super. Yeah. So you are in
Long time.
Kerala now at the moment,
Yeah, at the moment I'm in
Nathan,
Kerala.
in a
Yeah,
conference.
I
In
came
a
for a
conference.
client meeting. No, I came for a client
Mhm.
meeting, completed,
Okay.
and now returning evening.
Okay. So actually, let me give a quick introduction. We had a fantastic session from morning today. So variety of topics. Let us go with. So strategy, planning, and execution for mid-size, smaller and mid-size organizations by Mr. Srinivasan. Okay. So let me give some quick introduction about Srinivasan. Yeah. 1 second, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, Mr. Srinivasan is a seasoned strategy management professional with over 30 years of experience in organizational development, interventions, with double master degree in labor studies and applied psychology, along with certifications from institutions like Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, and Harvard Business School. Srinivasan has proven track record of driving business excellence. So Srinivasan also has a member of many organizations. I could not list. There are so many list of, and you are very active promotion of the IMA, basically Institute of Management Accounting in India. Okay, Mr. Srinivasan helps many mid-sized and smaller organizations to achieve their strategy and manage their strategy transformations successfully. So, Mr. Srinivasan, over to you. Please just introduce yourself, and then we have all the 50 minutes time slot for you to present.
Okay. Thank you. Very nice, Mr. Abdul. And I also thank my fellow speakers who are there yesterday and today. So my session is about on MSME, how MSME can shape and develop their business and accelerate the growth. So, about I'm going to the slides now. I have quick about three topics, and finally I'll end up with the Q&A. MSME. Currently, we have about MSME stands for micro, medium, and small enterprises. So, here, micro organization anything less than 5 CR, small is up to 75 CR, and medium is up to 250 CR. So we have about 19.4 million registered micro firms in India, and for small we have about 5.5 lakh registered small enterprises in India, and medium enterprise we have about 52K. Put together, all three, micro, small, and medium, contribute to 30% of our GDP, and in which 45% belongs to manufacturing sector and 50% is export. 50% is export. The aspiration of every organization is to grow and to grow and earn money and build revenue and build system. In such way, MSME in the growth trajectory, they have an option to list themselves into IPO. There is a special facility for them to get into IPO. We call NSE Emerge IPO, in which 397 companies have listed till now. This is data as of 2024. That means whoever been in micro, grown up to small, and who have been in small, they've been moved into medium, and who are in medium, they have now moved into IPO. That means the growth factor. How a MSME can grow, and they should have certain areas, how to focus, where to focus, and how can we position our organization better. So, for easy understanding, if any MSME is focusing on their strategy plan or their strategy that where they want to head. And if they have right and passionate people, maybe uh, having the right people for right job and with the right culture, and if they have a process which is efficient process, instead of taking more time on the figuring out a certain process, if the process could be faster, quicker, simpler, if there's three, a right strategy, a passionate people, and efficient process, growth factor is inevitable. But this three component, strategy, people, and process, are very, very critical. And MSME struggles at time to identify themselves while defining their strategy. So if they could do in all these three, the growth factor is imminent. Coming back on planning and execution of any strategy, we're talking about capacity enhancement and capability development. Capacity enhancement refers to the organization, the capacity to deliver or manufacture to provide service. How can they develop, increase the capacity? Capability is like the team, the people, the process. How can they develop the capability of the people? If this through, if this two comes together, the throughput of growth is inevitable. Here, for a better understanding, we are talking with respect to Indian context of MSME. Capacity enhancement here, we're talking about the production system, the current production system, the enhancement of the production system, the manufacturing facility, how the manufacturing facility can add furthermore a different process also. And in such a way, if they start adopting a lean system, Z, Z is what we call in India as about zero defect and zero effect. So this type of strategic process which has been brought into MSME is really triggering the growth. And GEM is about the government e-marketplace, which is also brought by the government of India to facilitate MSME to grow for further development. And if they add digital to it, we wanted to position or bundle this area into called capacity enhancement. Capability development, we are referring about people, how people can be trained, how people can be groomed, how people can manage the existing clients, the employees, the staff, the vendor. And in such a way, if the capability is increased for a people, the organization is getting stronger. Same way, the process. Here we are talking about how efficient the process is also helping uh, to figure out how quickly they also can respond to the market. It This has to be sufficiently contribute supported by reports and dashboards for the organization. Currently, many of the MSMEs are having it in either in a either in a hybrid form, or sometimes they have it in a paper and pencil form, or sometimes they have it in a not in a structured way. They have it in different reports. They collate it and finally they try and bring it. But the dashboard system needs to be really brought into the MSME. We talk about the MSME growth framework. What do we talk about? We spoke about people. People, every employee in a MSME should will aspire to go, to grow, to move, to get a higher career growth, but they should not after going out of the organization and getting into a corporate sector for that. Rather, if we that particular MSME provide a career growth opportunity, that could be a real boom for the people to be in the organization to help. Same way, skill development is very, very primary in this MSME, because MSME you will find most of the people either semi-skilled or unskilled, but when they come into the system, they get skilled. So here, the continuous skill development is one of the crucial factor. When we talk about the process, talking about automation and process efficiency. Automation is like a particularly after COVID. every organization is moving into reducing dependency on repetitive tasks. So there, the automation plays a vital role. When it comes to technology, we are talking about digital. So how proactive and how a digital transformation can help. Say, for example, MSMEs are doing many of things in documentation in a paper. So instead that, if they move from a paper towards a digital, the minute when they move into digitization, and they can adopt digitalization, and finally they can move towards digital transformation, for which they should start digitizing first. And the benefit of moving a digital transformation is they will get a lot of informations and analysis which will help the company for any business proactive decision making. Primarily, any data is required to predict a business. Any data is required to understand and analyze how the organization is moving forward. So this data, this digitalization will help the client to move. Okay. What could be the growth plan initially for any MSME? They can start with people and process. They can do continuous training to the people. They can make the employees to go and visit, because that's the reason you have about best practices sharing. They can get into different their own association. They can learn about how the another organization or the peer organization or their organization which is working the same line, how they are handling the people and process. By learning that, they can enhance the people and process excellence process. Then they can move into business excellence, which can talk about leadership, which can talk about corporate governance, which can talk about vendor management, customer relations, stakeholders. If they start targeting all the area with certain parameter to move from a factor, if they are in a out of point between 1 to 5, if they are at 1, they can slowly move from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. That aspiration is required, for which they should know where they are, for which we also can talk about the benchmarking. They can have some certain benchmarking parameters. They should start targeting those benchmarking parameters. What could be the next level? The next level is they can move into SME IPO, which we discussed a few minutes back. That could be the next growth factor. They should have this growth factor that we have to move into IPO. There must be an ambition. There must be an aspiration for the MSME to move. So this could be a step forward. Maybe we don't want to push them that move into move into a public limited or like that. They can slowly aspire and move into SME IPO. What we refer about capacity and capability, maybe this is for the benefit of real MSME people. Assume there is a 1 liter of bottle. We have about, say, it worth about 1,000 grams plus about the bottle is about, say, 150 gram. In total, say 1,150 gram of bottle is with water. Imagine if we take out the water and fill it with mercury, the weight of the bottle increases 2 or 3 times, or maybe 4 times. So that means we wanted to make the organization understand what we're talking about capacity is refill something new so that your capacity enhances. Capability, what we are trying to make capability is here, say an empty bottle. If you make a craft out of the empty bottle, you can do multiple crafting work, by which the same empty bottle becomes productive, the same empty bottle becomes a benefit for the users in different way. That means you are enhancing the capability. So these are the two areas which called capacity and capability, which we are referring for MSME. Because when we for MSME, we have to give them the easy way of digesting their concepts so that they quickly go and implement in their organization. Okay. So as we discussed about moving into digital, which is primary for them. This is an example. What happened when somebody travels in a domestic transport here? Earlier days, we used to have a ticket which has been given in a printout, which has been already printed one. The conductor takes a ticket and hand it over, and there is no other way that the denomination is written in the ticket. But now what happened? The ticket printing machine, the digital POS system is available. The conductor has to exactly type the code words for whatever the destination, and immediately the thermal printout is being out, and he handed over to the passenger. So here, the first thing is, instead of doing it in this way, or a normal printer ticket, they're moving into using a machine. So this is what we are trying to make them to understand: the digitization. The second, the digitalization. What is the advantage of digitalization? Every time, whenever the conductor reaches the destination, he has to do a tedious work of preparing in a paper, writing down all the denominations, and finally arriving and saying this is what the sales is done, and this is what the passengers movement from one end to another end. Rather, with this machine, by pressing a single button, he is able to take a printout of data. The data gives more information: which area, which customer traveled from where to where, how many tickets, what is the currency, the costing. Everything's been taken away in a single sheet and handed over to the uh, the, the, the the ticket inspector. So digitalization is what we wanted to have, the data. And third, digital transformation. What we mentioned about digital transformation here is the head office of the transport organization. By sitting at the head office, they will know how many which are the bus routes it's profitable for them, which are the bus route during peak hour, how they performing, during off peak hour, how they performing, and which business route they should concentrate. When the minute when they start thinking about this and using the data, we trying to position here as a digital transformation slide. So any organization should start with digitization, move to digitalization, and finally get to the level of digital transformation. Hope it will take about minimum 3 years for an MSME to move. But for a organization, if it is still in a, uh, normal printed format, they should first start moving into digitization. Many of the organization, I could say, in MSME now, they are moving to Google Forms and started collecting some of the reports and all, which is good. But they should move into digitalization and digital transformation to the next level. What do you mean by skilling? We mentioned about capacity and capability. So here, what we talk about reskill. Imagine an MSME considering a person who is handling a cattle and farming, he moves from that towards using a tractor. So that could be one way of reskilling we wanted the MSME to think. Upskilling. What we mean about upskilling, somebody is already working in a lathe machine, they know the process, but at the same time they want to move into a DMC or CMC machine. So that way we are referring as upskilling. So MSME should move into this topic. I'll complete. So skill and will here, what happens is, many of the organization, the employees are willing to develop. They are showing interest, and they lack certain area, uh, what to focus, where to focus. If a skill development would facilitate and help them in developing the skill, definitely the organization is poised to grow. And if some of the employees are not willing uh, to develop the skills or to move ahead, and that means they are intentionally, they don't want to develop, or they don't want to move to the next level. So that's a will issue or skill issue. So if it's a skill issue, speak to the team, engage with them, provide necessary support, training, and develop the skills. If it's a will issue, you don't have an option. Maybe you can call up and do a coaching, or maybe you can speak to them one to one and do personalized talks and discussion. If things are not going fine, we have to tell them, like if it is a will issue, we have to tell them, okay, in a 3 months period, either you have to move like either perform or perish, that type of work. So we have to make that stand clear. If we don't make that stand, then we will always have a system of people being in the system but not being productive. And the current system is we are not able to have a lot of unproductive people into the team, which will actually drag the overall organization performance. So this is what we call the skill and will employee productivity dilemma. And this is the last side, which I use it for behavior change for any organization. And when a, when you want to influence your people to move into a good to move into a new culture or a change management, we primarily focus on three areas: the employee's feeling, the employee's thoughts, thinking, we call thought leader thinking, and how the organization interacts with the employee. This three component plays a vital role in shaping the people for the organization: feelings, thoughts, interaction. If these three are followed in a way that the employees adhere to the organizational change management, naturally they act on it and they willingly observe the change requirement and finally exhibit in their behavior, by which organization is positioned in the outside world that this MSME is focused on X factor, and by which the MD of an organization can drive the band for the better. And with this, I conclude my slides, and I'll keep 5-10 minutes open for any questions. Abdul sir.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. Very interesting, very straightforward, simple, very relevant presentation, Srinivasan. So now, based on your experience in primarily in South India, especially Chennai, Kerala, Bangalore, so how are that mid-size organizations? I will call it a mid-size organizations for all together. So, so how is that? Like, how is adoption for strategy management? Is there something like a formal strategy planning execution is a scope for some consultant, somebody like you, to help organizations? So because one thing is very clear. Even yesterday we were talking. Mihai was saying that even if it is a smaller organization, you need some kind of strategy planning. Okay, so how receptive organizations are now, and what can we do to support them? So please advise.
Yeah. So with my experience in engaging with MSME post COVID, okay, with respect to India, post demonetization, post e-way bill, post GST, post COVID is different, and pre is different. Here we could see a lot of MSMEs are really receptive to change. They were legacy issues. There were certain legacy
Mhm.
issues like the father or grandfather, the son doesn't want to do it, or either the
Okay.
grandson doesn't want to follow. However, some organization who understands that if we don't follow this path, we will not be in the market. They are highly receptive.
Mhm.
They are highly receptive for change. And in fact, the last slide which I showed you is for a change management is a different, was a lengthy subject. So I wanted to cut down that. Okay. So they are willing for change, and to bring them to the table. Though we have been using the word strategy, but many a times I don't use the word strategy to the MSME because a big word.
Mhm.
Okay, I call them planning exercise or AOP, something like that, and make them understand. We'll tell them this is how the list of activity you're supposed to do. These are list of active actions you're supposed to do. This is how you should measure your goals, targets, and slowly move them. So here, as an MSME, the aspiration is any company wants to move from micro to here to small and small to medium, and there we don't want to make them to push and give the
Mhm.
unrealistic target or aspiration to move to public limited. Tell them slowly try and see this IPO. If you're 150 crore plus, yeah, try and see this IPO where it's benefit for you to grow. So organizations are really interested, and they're receptive. Maybe consultants like us, we should not use big jargons like strategy and all, where they will really go away. Okay, except few, maybe we can give a weightage of about say 10%. Rest of the
10%. Go on.
90%, yeah, we don't want to use a word like that and tell them this is how the planning, you're supposed to concentrate on the process, this is how you're supposed to concentrate on people development, and like that we can go. But what we could see is earlier days the MSME used to have a small paper, and in the pocket they will have every day the paper written and hand it over to their accountant or someone. But now
Mhm.
they are moving towards an application.
Digital.
Okay,
Mhm.
digital. So this is the new development which we are seeing now. And number two, earlier days, none of the MSME staffs used to carry a tablet or a laptop or a desktop to the home. Now, we are seeing few of the MSMEs are providing them the laptop so that those staffs can go home and do something.
Human, there
This
is
is
something.
one improvement. No, earlier days they used to get really worried because my data will go out,
Data
this will
will go.
happen, that will happen. But now that level is increased. So, as a consultant, we are seeing and reading the signs and signals. So, these are the signs and signals we are observing, which is good for MSME, for the growth factor.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. I think we should do more to help organizations in a more
Yeah,
proactive way. Yeah. Mhm. There is a tremendous scope for optimizations. Okay, there is a tremendous
absolutely,
scope.
absolutely. Very, very big hope. In fact, instead of depending in a larger application, if we could, remember I was discussing with you, if you could have a smaller application which could satisfy MSME, nothing like it. Okay,
We'll do so.
they wanted,
Mhm.
but they don't want to end up in going in a big size business investment. That's their worry.
Yeah, yeah. We'll find one good option. How does that fit into this?
Yeah.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. So thank you very much.
Thank
Any
you.
question from the audience? We will post it to you. Okay. So we'll be happy to have more sessions with you, Srinivasan Garu, and
Yeah.
we'll be happy to talk more about real practical scenarios. So hope you will be returning today to Chennai, or
Yeah. Yeah. Returning today to Chennai.
so have a good time. Take care
Thank
and
you.
take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining us in spite of busy schedule. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Srinivasan.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Abdul. Thank you. Bye.